I'm Ellen the Crazy Crafty Lady. I'm here with another awesome video. Thought I'd show you some of my thrift finds and shopping finds from last week. I have a bunch of stuff here in my awesomely big box that I saved just to keep stuff in. Got some awesome finds from earlier in the week, last week, and some stuff I ordered, some stuff I found in the garage, like these awesome jars I'm going to use for putting pins, needles, and different stuff, whatever, into. I have these awesome finds. I also have my awesome they were old curtains I found here in the bathroom when I moved, but I cleaned them up. They'll make nice material at some point. Found those. These are my awesome, some of these are awesome finds. This is one of my thrift store finds. It is my favorite thing, one of my favorite things, the Red Hat Society. And it was a whole yard of fabric for $1.25. So I am going to maybe make an awesome bag or a pillow or something out of that. And I so love that. And my eBay find, I found another piece to go with that. So one will be the outside, one will be the lining or pillows or whatever I decide. My eBay find, I got that at a good deal. Don't remember exactly what I paid, but it was a good deal. It was under $20 for all of that. And this was $1.25. So that was a really good deal for that. And then this is my thrift store finds. I got some baby fabric. There's a half a yard, 56-inch wide, 75 cents only for that nice piece. It's baby stuff, but I'm sure I will manage to find something to do with that. I got a remnant piece, 25 cents for that. It's a nice big remnant piece. It's about a fat quarter, just about, for 25 cents. So I can use this. It's kind of thin, but it'll make a nice lining for a bag or something like that. So I got that nice piece. All these awesome remnant pieces, 75 cents for that. It's a nice thicker piece. It's bigger, actually, than a fat quarter, which makes it nice, because I will find something to make out of that. I can make a bag. There's enough there to make a bag, or a couple of zipper pouches, or, pencil cases, or something to that. And then this piece, of course, here is, they call them remnants. 75 cents for this nice piece, and there's a little more than a fat quarter there, and this will make a nice lining for a nice purse or a bag or something to that effect. So I got that awesome piece, and this is 3/4 of a yard for $1.99 for that. 3/4 of a yard on this piece. And there's only a small bit taken out that somebody took out of there. And it's quite lovely. And not sure what I'll make with it. This part looks like it's a little bit of a mess there. But the rest of it's in pretty good shape. And for 99 cents, I can always use it for a lining or find a use for that. Nice piece. Next I have this awesome piece, another big remnant. It's probably it's a good half a yard, this piece at least, or even a yard for this nice remnant for 75 cents. It's flowers, it's very nice, and I will make something out of that, lining for bags, or make a nice little pillow for a kid's room, or just about anything with that. There's probably almost the whole yard there in that nice little piece. Good find there for 75 cents. And here's what I call almost the matcher. It's the green one. And there is a yard plus a remnant for $1.25, 40 inches wide on this nice, awesome piece. And it's the predecessor, I say, to the red one. And there's a lot there for the $1.25 that I paid. And it's a really nice piece. It's not super duper thick, but it's thick enough to make bag or, you know, pillows or, you know, a small baby blanket even, or, you know, something to that effect. I could use these two and make some kind of little lap quilt out of that even. And I'll probably wash all these before I actually use them. As I'm ready to use them, I'll wash each of those up. You know, just because they were, you know, from the thrift store. I like to kind of clean my fabrics a bit. And this was $2.25. There's almost 2 full yards in this. And this will be great for bags, or, you know, you can even maybe do some clothing items with this. It's a really nice fabric. It's a good size hunk of stuff. Almost 2 yards there. 1 3/4 yards for $2.25. So you really get quite some good deals on these, and it was really worth it for that. And it's a nice fabric, not real super duper thick, but you can make table runners and other things out of that if you put the batting inside and the stuff on the back. Or you could use that stuff and make the hot plates and stuff like that. And then this little piece was a free piece because there was no price on it. So the lady at the thrifty store I go to all the time gave me this piece for free. And it's quite a nice, lovely little scrap piece. And it's kind of thin, but it's a nice cotton. And it'll be good for, it's got like the fruits and stuff on it. So it'll definitely be good for, you know, placemats or, you know, things for the kitchen, hot plate, table runners, stuff like that. And then this is not quite a canvas. There's 19 inches by 54 inches on this for $1.29. It's like half the thickness of a canvas, and you could, you know, use this for the backside of a table runner or just anything you really want to use it for. Or you could use it to make a bag or, you know, something like that. $1.29 is 54 inches wide, so there's plenty of stuff there to get something out of that. And, you know, that's a really cool find there. And then this is some more of my remnant pieces. These are little pink and red and yellow flowers of some kind. I'm not sure exactly the flowers. But for 99 cents, you get a nice, decent piece. And you can, there's enough there to make a couple of things out of that. And it's a nice fabric. It's not real super thick, but it's good for, stuff like this is good for linings or the top strip on a bag or something like that. And then also we have, this is a 50-cent piece, this remnant, and there's quite a bit for 50 cents in here. There's probably close to a good yard of this fabric right here, and it's a really nice piece. It's a thinner piece too, but not super duper thin, and it'd be good for the lining of something, or again you could make table runners out of these, because you know they do have a little bit of a kitchen feel to them. 50 cents for that whole thing is not a bad deal. And then here's one of these other predecessors with the little dots on it. And this was a 50-cent remnant as well. And it looks like they cut a little bit out of it. But there's enough here to make maybe a couple of placemats or another bag lining or, you know, just something to the effect, or some fill-in squares on a blanket. I come up with all kinds of different ideas and things that I think I'm gonna do that I haven't got to yet, but I'm eventually gonna do it. But you know, for 50 cents, that's quite a really nice piece. And this is my assorted remnants bag, $1.99, and there's a lot of stuff in this bag that I haven't looked at yet, but there is a lot of assorted remnants in this bag. This is kind of cute, looks like some older type material, but there's a really good amount of it in here. Some of it's in pieces, but there's one big, really big piece of that. So that would be good for, you know, whatever you want to make out of that. Maybe some cute little zipper pouches, or, you know, just something for a kid. I don't know, something to that effect. But there's that piece. There's a couple pieces of this on the side. But they'll make something really nice with that, if you want to make something nice. And then just some little small remnants came in that bag. Looks like something you could, used to be a man's shirt, or I don't know. But nice little remnant piece you could do something with, and like that. So that's a nice little remnant piece. And then we have, looks like little buttons and things, or little hearts, and some look like buttons, and they're stars and moons. And there's a whole nice big piece of this. So that would be nice for, you know, just whatever you want to do with that, bag linings, or the outside of a bag, or part of a quilt. You could use these for some of the quilt squares. That's a very nice cotton. And these are really cool here. These are so nice. These pieces with the fish on them. They're very awesomely cool. They have different rainbow type fish, it looks like. They're not really huge pieces, but they would make nice for, you know, you want to make some really cool little zipper pouch thing or something like that. You got the frogs. That's a really cool small piece, but it'd be making nice for a pocket on something. Or you can applique the frogs by cutting them out and using them that way. Also, we have this nice, awesome piece. Looks older, but and there's a good amount of pieces in here that you can actually use them to do stuff with, bag linings, just, you know, some of the thinner stuff. And then, of course, I like the leopard things and things like that. And this is like leopards, sort of like different types of leopard prints. And there's actually a pretty good amount in that. Nice big piece. Would make a nice bag or something like that. I like that piece. And it's actually, that's a good piece. That's not quite a fat quarter, but it's a nice piece. And that would make something quite nice too. And then, of course, we have some actual, they're really cut up pieces, but I might find a use for it, maybe not. But for the price of the whole bag of stuff, and you get a few pieces that you really can't work with, they might end up in my stuffing bag. But you'll get a couple of pieces out of this. You can maybe make a lining for a nice little brown zipper pouch, or a yellow one, or, you know, something like that. Quite nice. And then I need more black material. I'm just about out of my black. And that's a nice hunk of black material that I'll actually, maybe I'll use it for something. We'll see about that. And that was a nice little grab bag, though. For $1.99, you do get some nice pieces in there. And, you know, just a few pieces is worth $1.99, I say. You know, at the price that material costs nowadays, you know, you get a few nice pieces for the money. And then we got this awesome bag that everything came in. I'll put it all back in there when I'm done. And then our last remnant bag here which is another $1.99 quilt remnant bag. And some of the pieces, again, they're not real huge, but it's big enough to get bag linings and do stuff like that. That's a nice little piece. It's not real huge, but it's a nice little piece. And this remnant bag, this is a nice big piece here. It's actually got all of this, so it's more than a fat quarter on that. So this will make nice for, it's thin, so this will make nice for some kind of zipper pouch lining or something to that effect, or like that. And then of course we have this nice piece. Again, some of them are thin, but they were worth taking a shot for, you know, $1.99. You get some nice, decent sized pieces in there, and you can really make something, you know. Some of these are great for the linings, because you always need a lining in your pouches and your zipper bags and your purses, and, you know, some of this and that. That'll make good for that. And then this piece just fell. This is exactly the color of my curtains in the window. And this is a nice piece I kind of took an interest in, which I could make a pouch out of that. And then get this other kind of yellow, maybe something like this to go for a lining, or just be quirky and different, and, you know, and just make something fun and interesting and like that. It's a nice piece. It's a big piece, and I'll get a couple small things out of that nice piece. And then we have this awesome nice piece. It's like rainbowy. I'm not sure what those are. It's hard to tell. But it's a nice piece. And it's a big piece. It's a really big piece. A good-sized piece. That's a really nice piece of material there. And I will definitely make use out of this piece for something. Bags, or, you know, some more... this would actually almost look nice as a dresser scarf or a table runner or something like that. And this is just some blue. Looks like somebody started something. Maybe I'll put a backing on this. That's really cute. And I'll stitch these down so they stay down, and then put a backing on that and make a little wall hanging or something out of that. That's actually pretty cute. And there's the extra material to go. Oh, there's two of those. Those are really cute. So I'm going to put those aside, and I'm going to do something with those. This I like. It's kind of Christmassy. The green is a little off, but it's actually still nice. It's a good-sized piece, this one is. And it's a nice piece to do something with. It's just a long piece, but maybe I can turn it into something like a table runner and just put it together as it is, and then add something to it on the sides. And we got some of our little pieces of scrap, but they might be good for something. And then, of course, this is like leafy stuff. And there's a nice, good little section of this. You know, nice, like fat quarter worth, maybe a little less. But it's a nice piece of fabric. It's a little different than a fat quarter, but it's a nice piece of fabric. And again, this could be another lining fabric, something to that effect. But it's not bad. I kind of like it. I'll use it for, I'll get something going with that eventually. And this is one that I really liked, seeing it in the package. And for $2, it was worth it for this piece, because it's got oranges and it's bright and it's got the white lines in it. And it's a really nice, decent piece. And I liked that. So I will find a good use for that, for something. Maybe some bags, or I don't know. I'm always making like bags and different things. And then we got just a little scrap piece of something here. Maybe a little lining for a little small coin purse, or, you know, a little something like that. And so that's another $1.99 little scrap bag. I like my scrap bags. You end up finding some nice, decent pieces in there. And then we have, let me just step over here for a second. I'll be right back. And I will show you these two. These are my awesome find from the Goodwill. I think it was the Goodwill or Vinnie's or one of those in a small town by my brother's house. And these were $10 each. I got the whole entire bolts on these for $10 a piece. Can't beat that. Not for $10 a piece. One was 10, one was 12. They said, guy said, I'll give you both of them for $10 a piece. And I got one's apples and one's the flower baskets. And the flower baskets has a little more, I think, on it. Maybe not. But for $10 a piece, it's the whole entire bolts. I took the cardboards off so they would fit in my bags a little easier, because I do tend to store my fabrics in bags, because I like to do that. I like to keep them fresh and keep the dust off them and any smells or any, I don't have any smells, but I like to keep all the dust and the stuff off of my fabrics. So them were nice, and they were definitely well worth it. If I ever get back there, I'll look for some more of that kind of stuff. And then this is a couple of my finds at the St. Vinny's, as we call it, St. Vincent de Paul, in my bigger town, about an hour away. And I got these. I figured they're perfect for Easter colors. There's almost a yard here, almost a yard and a third there, and a whole yard here, and $1.50, $2.25, and $1.75, and they're nice canvas. So they're Easter colors. So I figure I could do an Easter bag at some point in time. Make a couple of little Easter bags for the kids, maybe. Maybe the kids would like to carry them around. And these are all my fabrics. I hit the yard sale up here in my town, and the lady was a sewing lady, which she retired from, and she had oodles and oodles of fabric. And of course, some of it was a little stuffy because she had it stored. But when I'm ready to use it, I'll just clean it up. And some of it like this little piece I got has like letters and dollar signs, and a couple of letters and some dollar signs. It's a nice little piece, not real huge, but I got that nice little cool piece. And she was kind of reasonable on her fabrics because she was just trying to clean out. So I got those. And I got this one. It's got the ABCs on it. And the letters and pictures. And it's a cool, nice piece. It's got all kinds of stuff on it for the kids. And I got 2 grandsons now. And occasionally I make them stuff. But my one grandson, he's into all the superhero things now because he'll be 6 this summer. So he's into that kind of stuff. But this is nice for the gardening thing which you could probably make stuff for the kitchen table or different things like that. It's a nice big piece, and it was a pretty reasonable price for that. I don't remember all that I paid for these. I whipped off the pricing on these, but there's the Mouse Family one with the school rulers, and that's a pretty good sized piece too. A nice big piece there, and you can cut the squares out and actually make something with the squares, and it's really a fun piece, and I shall have fun with that fun piece at some point in time when I'm not real busy with daily life. And this fun piece I got too, kind of Puff Tim and Spot. It's from the old days of my childhood. It's got all the old characters on it and stuff like that we all should remember that stuff. So I got a decent piece of that, and so at some point I'll make something out of that. Maybe something to do with a blankie or pillow, or just different things like that. So that was a nice piece. And I also got these two from there, and they're panels. They're very nice panels, and they have this on it. Very nice panels, and they're a nice cotton fabric, and they got a thickness to them. They're very nice, and these will make nice nice pillows. I think I'm gonna do with these, because they're already made for the pillow thing, and I really like that kind of idea. And they got the little strip at the bottom, so you can make an oblong pillow and have the strip. And so we'll see. There was two of those. They're exactly the same, and they're quite lovely. And I really like those too. And I didn't buy a lot at her sale, because I know me. I'll buy all of it. And she had just, the whole driveway was nothing but fabric. Oodles and oodles of fabric. And I had to kind of just buy a few things and leave the rest behind. So that's what I did. I bought a few things and left the rest behind. And then let's see. This is my other rest of my Vinnie's stuff that I got. These will be fancy do pillows at some point in time. This was a $3 fabric, but it's a really nice, not Vinnie's. Sorry about that, folks. This was from my Good Neighbor thrift store, but there's a good bit in here. I don't know exactly how much, but for $3, it's a very, very nice upholstery fabric, and you can make fancy couch pillows with this. I like to do that. My 30 cents for my beads that I make my sewing bobbin necklaces is with those. And this is another piece. It's hard to really undo these, but it's quite lovely. This was $4, but there's a lot of fabric on that, and it's very nice upholstery fabric, and it's a big piece. And let me just clip that off. And there's quite a bunch on here. And then once you open it up, and I can do some really fancy couch pillows with that. So it was worth it for that. And so that was quite a lovely bit. And then this is another remnant from the thrift store, 75 cents. But there's enough on here to get something to do with a purse or a bag or another table runner. Little small piece of that I was really thrilled about. And then this was a whole yard for $1.25. A whole yard of this really pretty cool fabric that I thought was quite nice. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but I really liked it. And for $1.25, you can't anywhere get a whole yard of fabric for $1.25. So I got that. And this is the same fabric as this big piece I showed you. It was another nice piece. It's a little bit longer than that one, so it was $1 more, but it's a nice piece too as well. And some of these are just little small remnants. This was $1 and this was $1 for the small remnants. This little remnant has animals on it. And let me just snipper that off. This one has the little, the cool little animal prints on it, dogs and stuff like that, and fishing people and birds. These will make really nice pillows for somebody that has a cabin up here maybe, that really wants to, you know, decorate their cabin. This is the same as the flower prints for $1. There's a nice good bit of stuff there. And this is a really soft, for $4, this is a nice piece too. And there's probably more than a yard. There's probably a couple of 2 or 3 yards for the $4 of this awesome white fabric. And you can't see it, but you look up close and there's inlaid designs in that. And for the $4, $4, there's a lot of fabric here. And this will be nice for, you know, if you're making something fancy. There's a lot of fabric in this nice bundle. And this will be nice for fancy bag linings, or like, it almost looks like wedding attire, actually. I don't know if that'll show up close or not, if you can see any of the design in that, but it's a really pretty fabric. Really quite lovely. And then this is another one of my remnant bags I picked up for $1.99 because it had greens that I like. Blue and green are my favorite colors. And this are little pieces, but they're flowers, and you can use them for zipper pouch linings or just little things like that. I thought this green was cute. It's just a small piece, but you know, the small pieces, I'll find some kind of use for them. I don't know for sure what. Now this piece is a little bigger, and it's got grassy looking stuff or something on it. But it was a nice green, and I like green and blue. So it's quite lovely. This is quite lovely. It's just a little piece of some more green with some whatever viney looking stuff and stuff like that on it. So that wasn't too bad. And then just some green. It's got the inlaid stuff. You can't really see it that much, but it's a nice, good, nice piece of the green inlaid stuff. And I do like my green. My mother liked green too, some stuff. And here's some more green. It's got like cherries and leafy. It's not real huge, but it's a good fat quarter worth of a piece. And sort of. It's kind of oblong, but we'll make some use out of that for something. I just like the scraps because you get sometimes you get big pieces in there, and they're worth it for the whole bag just for that big piece. And then some more of this type of stuff. That's a nice piece. Some of this is just good for the linings, but you always need a lining when you make a bag. So, you know, even if you're making a little zipper pouch or... Now, this here is, there's some stuff that needs to be trimmed off, but it's all, there's a nice big piece of this, and it's got just like lines and the darker green, and it's a nice piece to use for something, and I'll find a use for it, maybe some, you know, be good for like a half triangle if I make a zipper pouch, or, you know, just something to that effect. I'll find a use for that somewhere. And then we got this nice little piece of green. That kind of almost would be nice with that maybe. But it's just another long piece, but there's enough of these pieces that you can get something out of it. You can make little half square triangles for like quilts and just fun stuff. And then of course another little piece of almost like really tiny flowers. But again, there's enough of this. It goes on and on and on here. And then you open it up and you get the other half. And it's a nice piece. It's big enough to be used for another bit of lining or just something fun or, you know, like that. And it's a fun piece. I'll find a use for it. This is a fun piece. I like this piece. It's like stars, shooting stars. It's not very much, but you might get a little coin purse lining out of it, maybe, or something like that. Or a little bit bigger of a bag lining. That'd be what that's good for. Or something like that. And then, of course, there's some of this, just bits and pieces of stuff. And yeah, you find some use for it. Little tiny squares or whatever. And then, of course, you got just some green stuff here. It's more of a, it's not exactly, it's a different type of fabric. It's not a regular cotton fabric. And it's not fleecy either, or the other kind. I can't remember what it's called. But it's a decent little piece of fabric, and it can use for something. And then you got these little tiny pieces. Can't really use that for much, but considering the whole bag, you know, it was a good deal for the whole bag. Flannel, that's what that kind of could be, like a flannel type thing. And then, of course, there's this piece. There's not much there, but good for a little bag or, you know, a little purse lining, zipper pouch lining, something to that effect. It's a nice little piece. The color is nice. I like the green. And then, of course, this color doesn't look too bad with that, actually. I can make a little zipper pouch out of that and use this as another long strip of a color. But it's a nice piece, and I'll make a use out of that. And then, of course, we got some really thin, like a lime green, really light lime green, which isn't bad. I'll make a use out of that for another lining of a bag or something to that effect. And of course, my Joann Fabrics find, they have filed bankruptcy. I'm so bummed over that. But this was local thrifty too, but the Joann thing was still on it. But it's elephants. There's a nice good bit on there that I will figure something out with that. My grandson, when he was a baby, he had all elephants. His mama wanted everything elephants. So we did elephants, and now he's over the elephants, but I found this nice piece of elephant fabric, and I couldn't resist, because elephants are cool. They really are. They are such a neat species, the elephants. So I got that piece of fabric, and then this is my St. Vinny's for $1.50. I got these awesome big pins for my giant quilts that I am working on one. It's going to be king size before I'm finished. It's a Harley Davidson. When I'm done with it, I will probably show it. But I got all these awesome pins for $1.50 for this whole container of pins. It's really, they're big pins, and I love them. And this is 3/4 of a yard. This is a whole yard. $1.50 and $1.75. They're just solids, but they're great for bags or linings or just, you know, quilt squares when you want to do one side with a design and the other side with a solid for the half square triangles, or if you want to use them for the ones with the points when you're doing the Dresden plates. And you can use these for in between the design ones. Those are awesome. And this I paid 50 cents only for this. Somebody made it. And I'm going to use this as a guide to make my own. You can put little like hooks or, you know, things in the pockets. Maybe even crochet hooks or something to the effect. And then you got these other pockets that you can put stuff in too. And I want to actually make these and try selling them in my craft shows that I do. And so that was a nice little find for 50 cents. Yep, very nice find. And another remnant bag. Awesome remnant bags that I seem to find. I love the remnant bag. So I got another remnant bag. Some of these are just really tiny pieces, but they got nice little leafy designs on them and flowers. But they'll make nice little bag linings and stuff. This one's actually got really cool flowers on it. I like that. It's not a real huge piece either, but you can get stuff out of those bag linings and things. And then these are the tiniest of hearts. And some of the pieces in here, they're not exactly a flannel, but they're almost a flannel. And they're a good sized piece. And that was nice too. And just some real dinky little pieces that they'll open up and they'll be almost just as small. And then this was a nice piece I thought I liked. And it's not real big, but it's a nice piece. There's a good bit there that you can do something with actually. This would be great for a bag lining because that's kind of what it reminds me of. Bag lining. And this is just a small piece, but it had flowers on it, so I could probably cut out the flowers and do something with that and applique them to something or fabric fusion them to something. I love doing that. This wasn't real big, but it's got stars and stripes, and it's not real big piece, but it's big enough to, you know, you can get something out of it. And then roses are my favorite. These look kind of like roses. Now, again, not a big piece, but big enough to, you know, do something with. And then, of course, there's just some small pieces of this design. But they're big enough that you can get linings out of them. And then some of them have designs. You can get ideas for making other designs on bigger pieces of fabric, like those things would be cool. And then this is just like roses or whatever. It's not a big piece, but you know, it's something you can use. And then of course, this is a nice piece too. It's got flowers on it. Again, it's not a huge piece, but it's actually big enough to make something out of that. And then there's just a really small piece. Enough for a lining maybe on a bag, because that's about what it's good for. Because there's not really much design to that. And then this piece was a remnant piece for 50 cents. But it's a nice hot pink color, and I like it. And it's a good sized piece. And it opens up to be that much. So for 50 cents, it was worth it. And I'll get some good stuff out of that. I really will. I don't know, some bag stuff, linings, whatever, anything. It was a nice piece worth 50 cents to me. And let's see, what else did I got? I do a lot of purses and things like that, and pillows. So I do the bag stuff. So I got me the nice metal buttons, 50 cents for 2 nice metal buttons at the thrift store. And those are worth it to me. And this will be too hard to see, but it's a pin. It's a motorcycle pin. And that's quite nice. I don't know if you can see that, but that's what that is. And I buy all the flag stuff because I make flags, and I do stuff with the bags too. And I hang the flag stuff on it. I love my flag stuff. I always purchase that thrift store finds. And then I buy a lot of the charms or even earrings, and I make zipper pulls out of those, and stuff like that. And 3/4 of a yard for $1 of that. It's just a solid fabric, but it's like a couch pillow type fabric. And there's a 3/4 of a yard there that I'll make something with that. And this was all my finds there. These are just really small pieces, 50 cents for the little smalls. But there's enough there to make some stuff out of. Maybe I'll use them for Christmassy or something to that effect. And there's 3/4 of a yard, of a whole yard for $1.50 of the purple fabric, and it's 40 inches wide. So that's a nice solid color purple. I'll find a use for that. And the solid green, there's a whole yard for $1.75, and it's a really thick fabric. And I like this shade of green, and that was quite nice. 3/4 a yard for this. It's almost as thick as canvas, and it's about as thick as a thin canvas for $1 for that nice piece of off-white or cream-colored, whatever you want to call it. And this is 2/3 of a yard for $1, but it's all different colors of that in there. So I thought that was a nice piece. And let me get this out of the package real quick. And this was a really nice piece too. Not a ton of it, but it is quite nice, the colors and stuff. And I will definitely use it for something. I don't know what yet, but there's a good bit there. Might make a nice little bag or something like that, or even a half square triangle thing again, pillow, something or other on that, which is very nice. Oh, here's something people haven't worn since like the 80s or the 70s, and it's got the star on it. I'm going to use that for a zipper pull, and maybe I'll hang something else on here. Maybe I'll hang one of my bobbin necklaces. I make sewing bobbin necklaces, and I'll hang that on here and use this for a zipper pull. So that was quite nice. Couple bucks for that, which wasn't a real bad deal. And this is just another scrap fabric bag. It's just all different shades of pink in that bag. Some of them are real thin, and some of them are these would be good for just the linings. Some of them are good sized pieces. Again, this is one of my $1.99 finds. So you do get a couple of nice good sized pieces in here. I won't unfold the whole thing, but there's good half a yards in some of these pieces. Some of them, again, they're just real small, but there's enough there to make a bag lining. It's almost like a flannel, that piece. But some of them are good for the linings, and this is a big piece. But it's thin, and it's, this would be good for like bags or whatever, and things like that. Some of the pieces aren't usable. There's a couple of scraps in there. I don't know what I'll do with them. Put them in my stuffing bag maybe. But some of them, they're good sized, nice piece. And I will have fun putting all this away later. But this is another nice big piece of pink. Get a bag lining out of that, or a couple of bag linings probably, for my little pouches I'm always making, zipper bags and stuff like that. Kids like those, put their school stuff in, or just carry their IDs and their whatever stuff. And then this is just another big piece of pink. When you open it up, it's pretty good. It's Looks like somebody sewed it together once already. But I'll make something out of that. Some more bag linings, peachy colors. Some of these pinks are peachy colored. But they're actually, there's some nice, decent sized pieces in these. And the rest of them are, this is the same as that one. And so are these. They're big pieces. Some of these pieces to that, there's a good half a yard in this piece. A really nice good half a yard in this piece. So that was really worth it for that batch of fabric. Just all the different shades of pink kind of turned me on, and I liked them, and it's all the same. And there's probably a good fat quarter's worth in this piece. So I'll get a whole bunch out of that pink because they're all the same. And then you got two different pinks here, and they're just little pieces, little small pieces, but they're all the same pink here. And I'll use them for linings, or these ones are actually a little thicker, so I can probably applique something on the outside, make a bag out of those, and dress it up a little bit. And got my, there's my little, I collect military buttons, thrift store find. I collect all their military buttons. I love them. I get them at a good deal, and I collect them. I love them. And, of course, my Walmart finds. I like their big buttons because my local store wants $13 for one button, and these were, I got them on sale. They're $3, but I think I paid $1.97 for these. And or I might have been paid to $3 and they were more than that, but I think I paid $1.97 for these. And they're nice buttons, and I won't never pay $13 a button, not ever. And then this is the rest of the finds from that awesome thrift store at my brother's end of town. And there's some big pieces of fabric. For $5, I got this whole nice bag worth of stuff. And there's a lot in this big piece. And it's just kind of a long strip. There's a whole bunch of it. And it'd be good for maybe some pillows or bags. And I actually got three nice pieces of that. And then, of course, they had some green. And there's a bunch in the green. It's kind of like scrappy and it's pieces. But I'm going to get something out of that, that's for sure. And this big piece. This was worth it because I got some really big pieces. And I washed them, cleaned them up, and before I use them, so they'll get washed and they'll get cleaned. And this is a nice big piece, this one is. So this was a good find alone just for this piece. But I got $5 for the whole bag. $5, $5.25, something like that for the whole bag. So it was worth it to me because I can do so many things with it. And this awesome big piece of green. I love my greens. And that's a nice big piece when you open the whole thing up. And there was a lot of green in here. And then it opens up again and you get this two whole halves of the side. And it's a nice green. I like that color green. It's really cool. This was one of my favorite pieces. It's not a material I'm comfortable with working with yet, but it was so pretty. And there's not much, but it's just a long piece of a scrap. But I can do something with that, like bag linings or something, and it's just really, really pretty on the colors. And, yep, I thought it was quite lovely. And this little piece really isn't any bigger than the piece you see right here, but it had, I can cut out the peace signs and just do something with those. And there's a few of these in here actually, and I'm sure they were making the masks. I did a lot of them back in the day. Yes, I did. I was the mask lady, they called me. I made masks for 5 cities. I was a busy girl. And so I'll find something new to make with those. There's a couple of those in there. And stuff like that. And there's a couple more of those panels in different designs. And then there's only a little small piece of this. But it's got camping and campers and stuff like that on it, and I'll figure something out. I can make a pocket out of that for a bag or something to that effect. And these couple pieces, they're little, but they have different states on it, so maybe I can cut the states out and applique them to stuff, or just make a bag lining out of it. It's kind of cool. A couple little small scraps of that I thought was kind of different, and like that. And then this is just a big hunk of grassy stuff that I can do something with. But it's really actually pretty cool. There's a few slices of that. Looks like they were going to make something out of these squares. I don't know if they were going to be masky things or I don't know. But they're all cut into squares already. So maybe a quilt could be in order for those. I don't know. And then these, they had all the squares made up for this awesome pattern. They look like, they're pine cones. And there's a few of the pine cones in that bunch. And then there was masks with the pine cones, mask shapes already cut out with the pine cones. So that's kind of neat. But I'll figure something else to do with those. I don't know what kind of plant this is, but they were going to make masks out of them, I'm sure. But there's a few panels of those, and I'll figure out something to do. They almost look like, I won't say. But it's a cool leafy stuff anyways. It's different, and figure something out with that. And then there's just some little bits of scraps of red material. There's actually a nice decent piece of the red here. There's a couple of sides to that when you open it all the way up. And that can be turned into something too. And I got a couple of small tiny scraps of that. Bag linings are just, beachy something or other. And then I got this I really liked too. The hearts. Nice piece of the hearts. I can do something with that too. Bags or linings or maybe a cute little pillow for a girl or something to the effect. Oh, excuse me, folks. Sorry about that. And then I got this also. It's just a sheet, but it goes with my deck of cards fabric. So I'm definitely going to use this for lining when I make the deck of cards bags that I make. And this will be the lining inside that. It's a whole, I don't know if it's probably a queen-sized little sheet. But that was only a couple bucks at the thrift store. So I have that. And my cousin's getting a bag out of this piece. It was $2 for this whole piece of this beachy and boaty canvas fabric. So she's getting a bag with rope handles out of that. And for $2, I got a decent, nice piece of that. So my cousin is getting that with a bag. And I'm going to whip that up as soon as I can. And I'm not busy again. So she's getting this nice, awesome piece. And there's some more of these, the same stuff I showed a while ago, but it's wrapped. Cheap, it's a nice upholstery for pillows and stuff. And then this came with that black and red squared sheet. So I don't know what I'll do with that. Maybe just use the fabric for a lining or something to that effect. Small piece for $1, but it's a, let me see if I can. And it's got some really fun, old-fashioned looking stuff on it. For $1, it's not a huge piece, but actually, it's got 2 panels, so I don't know what they were making with that. But I will make some pillows or something with that. It's a really fun fabric. It's almost, it's like a really thin canvas, but it is a canvas. So that's quite nice and lovely. And this piece was $6, but there is quite a bit there. There is quite a lot of fabric on this piece. It's doesn't say how much. Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. But well, there's at least 2 or 3 yards of this awesome fabric. I won't open the whole thing because then I gotta fold it all back up. But there is a good 2 to 3 yards of fabric on here, and that's a really awesome piece. And this awesome thing, it was $1.69, but it's made out of like seashell stuff, and I'll use that for one of my bags just to hang on the side. I got the material of this, and some more awesome buttons I thought were cool. That I love buttons. I collect them, and those were kind of neat. 99 cents. There's 5 buttons, and they got really cool stuff on those, and I really liked those. And my final bag of these are really cool here. Some more just little tiny bits, little squares of fabric, flowers and leafy stuff. And there's some decent sized little pieces of these too. And they're awesome. Awesome little pieces. They're just scrap, but some of the colors look nice through the bag because you can't tell what's totally in the bag until you open them, after you buy them. And then a little strip of, well, kind of looks like Easter eggs. So that's going to be a fun thing. And then there's, of course, some little more flowers. And there's some decent sized pieces of this stuff. So some of this is good for bag linings and all that. This little scrap, I don't know. Some of the scraps aren't big enough to really do anything, but you know, I'll figure out something to do. That's just a small piece of, it's very small. It ain't even enough to do anything. So that'll be just a stuffing bag. Some of these they're nice, but they're just big enough to put in the stuffing bag, like this piece. There's almost enough for one side of a lining on that, but the hearts are cool. I don't know, maybe I'll find some use for that. And then there's 2 panels of this. Each one's not real huge, but they're nice. And maybe I can use it for bag lining and make a couple bags out of that. There's a couple of nice pieces of that. And there's really not enough in this for anything. Just a small piece. But it'll make something. And then, of course, these little scraps. You can't see the flowers, but when you put it up to a window, you can see all the little stars or flowers or whatever it is in that piece. There's enough there for a bag lining. And then just some white. There's a lot of white on this. There's probably a good half a yard, or a quarter or 3/4 of a yard. About a half a yard of that white. So that's not bad. That's a nice, good piece there. Yep, and then of course that's the stars, the flowers, whatever that is. And then we have all that too, and like that. And so this was a nice starter bag of stuff with some things in it that I picked up. And then I ordered the wrong piece of this. This is one of my eBay finds. It was really cheap, under $20. I got, I'll just show you a piece of it. It's the Batman, but it's fleece. So I have a cotton one coming because I'm going to make a Batman quilt. So I have the cotton one coming. It'll be here in a couple of days. So I did get the wrong one. I didn't realize it was fleece till after I ordered it, but I'll make something for my grandson out of this probably because he loves superhero stuff. And of course my Walmart finds. I got the 1 yard cuts of the Batman fabric. I got those, and I'll make I got some other Batman fabric with that's just yellow with this on it. That's put away at the moment. And then I got 5 of these. My kid loves Stranger Things, so I'm gonna make her something out of that eventually. The Stranger Things, and so I got that for her. And then I also have. Let me borrow this camera. And I'll take us over here. I got some awesome finds this away too. Those are all my sewing machines and a bit of stuff on the shelf. I also have a thing going with my local furniture store down the street, and they're loading me up with all their upholsteries and their leathers and stuff like that. It's what's used when the big trucks come, and they do their furniture on them so that it doesn't get damaged on the trucks. So I go every 6 months and I get this for free because they wrap their furniture in it. All I got to do is haul it away. So I get some awesome, fantastic upholsteries and leathers. I got some really nice brown leather here. And I don't know where my red leather went at the moment. But I also got some of this nice stuff here. And I got these awesome things. Let me show you these. I got these awesome things that it looks like they were pillowcases at one time for big, giant, some kind of pillows. But they do have the holes right here, so if I trim these holes out, then I can use these and make new pillows and just buy a pillow to put in them. But they're really, really cool. This one has got all these awesome colors in it. And then this one's got the lighter colors in it. And it's the same thing on the ends with the holes there. And this, but so one end would have smaller squares, but I can make a fancy opening flap to put the pillows in. And I got these for free as well, and they still have their tags on them and everything. So these were a really nice find. So I just have to do a quick repair on these, and I can do something with those eventually, and then make some awesome, really awesome pillows out of that. And there really is no way to insert the pillows on these, so what I'm going to have to do is make an opening anyways. So I think these were just for display, but they will actually be pillows when I get done, and I'm so excited to do that eventually. And then my awesome hubby put this awesome shelf up on the wall for me. I don't know what I'm putting in it yet. Maybe my ironing stuff. And maybe, I don't know, some stuff for the ironing board. Maybe ironing stuff, maybe fabric. I haven't decided. If anybody wants to put their input in, I'm all for it. Because I'm not sure what I'm going to use it for, but I am going to put sewing stuff in there. That's a guarantee. So that's that. And there's my awesome yarn winder. And I redid my room a little bit and put some shelving over here. Took some of the tall stuff out. Made a little room. Got my Hallmark light up there and my other light up there and my pictures. Put some bins over here. Milk crates with some of my sheets and sewing fabric. Here's my other Batman material. I'm going to do some stuff with that eventually. And that new Batman material I got. And all my bags I so love. I'm running low. I think I'm running low. And all my sewing machines that I'm going to eventually use them. I just got bobbins for this one. Because you know me, each machine, they take different bobbins. They don't all take the same. Now I must clean this lovely mess up that I'm left with. And put everything back in my awesome box for now. And I will show you real quick that my awesome little quilt squares that I made. They're, I made these. This is the Christmas one. Dresden plate quilt squares. Quilt squares, excuse me, sorry about that. And I'm going to probably frame the Christmas one because I think I like it better. Because I'm new at these. I'm just making these for the first time. But I think they're awesome. And this is my Harley quilt. This will be the middle of my Harley quilt right here. That's the middle of my Harley quilt. And this is the actual... it's going to be bigger than a queen size when I get done. But I haven't done the backing yet on that. So I'm working on it. But this is it. This is my stuff. And I know this is a long video. But I hope y'all like it anyways. It's over an hour long. That's okay. I'm here in my craft room on a nice Sunday afternoon. Just having some time to myself before I get busy again tomorrow. And you all have an awesome day. And thanks for watching my video. See you on the next one.